Hi everybody, I'm Mike McCrory and this is Would You Make It? I have this habit of never throwing anything away, just in case one day I might find a use for it. So I've got all this stuff. Well, that's definitely not all the stuff that I have, but this is what I've picked out that I think would be great for building a busy board for a little boy. So that's what I'm going to make. I think it's going to be less of a woodworking project and more of a fun project. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this stuff yet, but I've got all the components, and the fun part is going to be figuring out how to make use of it. So let's get started. I need to cut some 45-degree miters, so I'm going to use a jig that I've built that gives me a zero clearance around the blade. I'm cutting the frame to be about 26 inches by 19 inches. And then I'm going to cut a rabbet along each edge of the piece, and that will provide room for a 1/4 inch plywood sheet that's going to insert in the top and in the bottom. I'm going to just glue up the joints. In some cases, for added strength, I might want to use a spline or something, but in this case, I'm going to be gluing the top plywood panel into the frame, so that will give it enough strength. These square corners for clamping really help to make sure that I end up with a square frame. And then I use a band clamp for framing to hold it all together. While the glue is drying, I'm going to cut the plywood panels for the top and bottom. Now I'm measuring the interior dimensions of the frame. It's about 18.5 inches by 25 3/4 inches, and that will give me the measurements for the plywood insert for the top and for the bottom. I'm making the first two cuts on the table saw to make sure that the two sides are parallel, and then I use my crosscut sled to cut the width. And it fits perfectly into the frame. So that's it for day one. I'm going to take a departure from my regular videos and break this one up into a series, and that way you don't have to watch the whole thing all at once. And I'm going to work on it every day and release a video every day. So stay tuned for that. So at the end of day one, I've made the basic board and frame, and it took about 3 minutes of your time. Trust me, it took me a lot longer than 3 minutes to make it. Tomorrow I will do a tentative layout of all the pieces that are going to go on to the top of the busy board, and then I can begin cutting out some of the holes. I will also begin the assembly of some of the pieces that need some assembly before they're attached to the busy board. If you like this video, please consider clicking on the like button. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And if you're not already a subscriber, you may want to think about subscribing as well. I've got a lot of videos planned, and if you are already a subscriber, thanks again. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned. I've got a lot more projects this year. So, see you tomorrow.